A beautiful girl must marry a man who she doesn't love. Unwilling to obey orders, she runs away and opens a divorce office. Many people try to mock her, considering her weak, but the beauty is able to stand up for herself. Soon two men fall in love with her, but one of them is a traitor to his people. The action of the series takes us to a small town in China, where a handsome and rich man, known as General Yin. Most beautiful girls dream of being with him and are ready to give their lives for this man. At the same time, a beautiful girl is walking around the city, whose assistant notices an extraordinary situation. Nearby, the bride is trying to escape from the wedding, as she does not love her fiancé. The man catches the fugitive and decides to hit her as punishment, but Ye Ronger prevents this. The groom approaches the princess, as he works for the general and Yin would punish her for this act. Ignoring the threats, the girl hits the man with a stick and causes the delight of the crowd watching this. The general's offended subordinate asks his followers to attack the girl, but she is brave and is not afraid of it. The girl gets into a fight with several men and easily wins, as she is a professional in martial arts. At some point, a young man named John appears and takes her by the hands to help deal with the opponents as quickly as possible and must flee. After defeating the bad people, the girl thanks the guy for his help and invites him to a cafe to celebrate this event. John considers her a special girl and compliments her beauty and femininity. She is pleasantly surprised and happy to meet them, when she suddenly notices the men who started looking for her. Realizing that she can be noticed at any moment, the girl runs away, but does not say goodbye to the guy. Upon returning home, the princess communicates with her father. The emperor insists that the girl get married as soon as possible and meet the groom, but is refused because wants to marry for love. The man is tired of talking, so he cries exhausted. Little later, she meets a tall, handsome man in the sauna and admires his figure. Noticing an outsider, he quickly gets dressed and approaches her, after which he asks her to remove her hands, since the girl accidentally hugged a stranger. Realizing that this is not her future husband, but just a handsome man, the girl tries to pay to bribe a stranger who can pretend to be her man and find an excuse to cancel the upcoming wedding. The man promises to help for free and returns the bag of money. Once in the room, the girl behaves like a man and drinks a lot. It soon turns out that this man is her fiancé. Yin plays the piano and then goes to another room to be next to a beautiful girl. After meeting, the couple feels awkward, so Yin and hardly look at each other. The girl was supposed to meet a completely different young man, but used the general to pretend to be her man and sit next to him. As soon as the groom gets angry and runs away, thanks Yin and gives a bag of money. Upon returning to the palace, tells his servant about everything, and they laugh at what happened, rejoicing that the princess managed to get rid of the loser groom. The next morning, the groom, who has been rejected by the girl, becomes a laughingstock and must hang in the central square. Many assume that did it, which is why the girl's father is crying again. The girl asks her father not to get upset, because she is happy alone, and she does not need a husband. Soon, the emperor issues a decree according to which must marry General Yin. The father is happy, and the girl is outraged that her opinion is not taken into account, and is thinking about running away. She does not want to marry a man she has never seen, but on the threshold of the house she meets guards who do not allow her to escape. Sometime later, the wedding day arrives and the ceremony begins. Wearing the bride's dress, the girl meets with the groom and goes to the palace. Yin doesn't know what his bride looks like because of the veil on his face. Would also like to take a look at the groom, but he holds her hands and does not allow her to take off her cape. A little later, the girl finds herself in her room, but her desire to see her husband is still as strong as before. The girl sneaks up to the general's bedroom and notices him in the company of a young maid, assuming that this is his mistress. Returning to her room, the girl declares that she is not ready to get married and offers the maid to run away. Hanging her dress on a hook, as if she had committed suicide, escapes and devises an ingenious plan so that no one can catch her. Staying in another city, the girl decides to help the same unfortunate as her, so she opens a divorce bureau. 3 months pass, and the general finds out where his fiancée is hiding, whose face he never managed to see. Yin hopes that he will have a chance to take care of the girl, because he is ready to be a faithful husband. At the same time, meets a man in the house who attacks her. As it turned out, this was her plan, since there was a wife standing outside the door who wants to divorce her husband. Yin arrives at the scene and asks the girl to take off her mask to see her face, but the fat woman helps her escape. Manages to hide in one of the rooms, but here she meets John. After learning about the complexity of the situation, the guy helps the girl hide, and she feels safe. The guards check the room and do not find her, but surround the building so that she cannot escape. Realizing that she is in a deplorable situation, the girl begs John to help her escape from the environment. The guy goes to extreme measures and changes into her clothes, after which he jumps out of the window and distracts attention to himself. Soon, one of the guards catches up with John and tries to take off his mask, but he beats him up while continues to hide inside the house. A little later, the girl opens the window, but only to throw a banana peel in the general's face. Yin enters the building and pretends to be the owner of the house in order to get to know the girl better. She does not understand that Yin is the groom she ran away from, so she offers the man tea. Uses sleeping pills to make the man lose consciousness. She tries to tie him with a rope, when suddenly it turns out that Yin did not fall asleep and heard everything. The girl has to admit that they want to marry her to an unloved man, but she is not ready for this. She doesn't know what her fiancé looks like, so she had to run away to another city and open a divorce bureau to help unhappy girls like her. In the evening, the tired goes to bed to rest, but the man reminds her that this is his bed. The girl categorically refuses to leave, so Yin lies down next to her. Upon hearing someone's voice, the couple hides under the blanket so that they are not misunderstood. The girl is close to the man and sees that he is very handsome, which makes her feel even more awkward. Meanwhile, John is sad and thinks about her, realizing that he has fallen in love with a girl and wants to be with her. Calling a servant, John orders to find out as much as possible about the girl before they meet again. In the morning, is asked for help, specifying the address and giving money so that she can help a girl in need of a divorce. Rejoices at the new case and hides the money received as collateral. Yin notices the girl on the doorstep and asks her to come back, reminding her that she has a lot to do. Returns to work as a servant and cleans up, after which he tries to escape, but the general blocks the exit from the house. The girl asks to be released, as she has important things to do. A little later, Yin and go for a walk to the market and stop at a cosmetic store. The beauties surround the man and begin to admire him. Takes advantage of this safely and escapes. Soon the girl finds herself in a strange and incomprehensible place for herself, not understanding where to go next. By asking the way of the man on the carriage, goes to a deserted forest, which is full of fog and strange sounds, which scares the girl very much. Meanwhile, a man who has lost his wife writes an angry message to considering her guilty. Dreaming of revenge, he leaves a warning note and throws it into the office where Yin is, who decided to read this letter. At the same time, gets lost in the forest and begins to hallucinate due to the fog. The girl sees her late father and cries, trying to call him, after which she falls to the ground. Yin goes to the forest and sees the fog, realizing that it is poisonous and the girl is trapped. He rushes to help and sees a girl lying down, after which he returns her to this morning. And Yin try to get out of the forest, but they can't find their way home because they got lost. At the same time, a group of people kidnaps a girl and hides her in a carriage. The beauty begs for help and one caring resident notices her and goes after the carriage. Soon, the girl and her kidnappers find themselves outside the city, and the man hides behind a tree nearby to understand what is happening here. One of the kidnappers realizes that they are not alone and checks the area, but the local manages to escape before he is noticed. Upon returning to the city, the couple meets with a man who wants to divorce. John also appears here, who feels sympathy for the girl and is jealous of the general sitting next to her. After the feast, the guy invites her on a date, and the girl agrees. A little later, they go to a bar and watch the ballerinas perform. The bully guy drinks too much and accosts one of the girls, after which John attacks him to stop this nightmare. Jean says that she knows everything about her fiance. She understands that this is a bad man, but she has to agree to the marriage, since he is rich, and she needs money for her mother's treatment. Would like to help the unfortunate woman in this situation, but John suggests not to interfere, since she herself is ready to marry a bad person. The general is going to arrest a man who was seen in the forest, assuming that he is a lawbreaker. Yin is ready to punish the guy with a sword, but he proves his innocence. He is ready to talk about what happened in the forest, but at that moment someone throws knives at him, as a result of which a local resident loses his life. Meanwhile, and John continue to hide near Jean's house, and observe her possessions to see if the bully is coming or not. John is very worried, and the girl feels it, realizing that he cares about her. Noticing that Jin is leaving the house, the couple goes after her and meets a group of masked ninjas. When one of them takes off his mask, it turns out that this is a woman who only pretended to be Jean, since in fact, this girl is tied up and is in their captivity. While John is fighting with several ninjas, is trying to save the prisoner. One of the ninjas threatens her with a sword, but Jin bites his leg, and the girl throws a heavy vase at the opponent, but misses. After beating all the opponents, John returns to the girls, and the last cowardly ninja has to escape through the window. In the evening, John escorts home, when suddenly the couple meets the evil Yin, who has been waiting for the girl at home for several hours. Invites the guy to his place to have a drink and talk, but the emperor closes the door in his face and asks the girl never to leave the house without his permission. The next morning, the naughty girl runs away again and goes in search of John. Upon learning that he is in a men's bathhouse, changes into men's clothes and enters the building, but the other men expose her and escape. The couple is left alone, and notices many wounds on John's body. The guy is shy and doesn't want to tell you exactly how he got them. Yin decides to bring her breakfast in bed and enters her room. The girl wrapped herself in a blanket and says that she is cold, and asks to be left alone with her assistant. Yin agrees, but a minute later returns to her room and asks her to change her clothes. He realized that she had run away from home, but he could not be angry because he was in love with a charming girl. Soon the couple goes for a walk and meets John. Yin and John can't stand each other and are ready to fight, but the girl holds them back. She suggests solving the conflict differently and organizes an argument to check who drinks more. John loses consciousness first, and Yin celebrates his victory, after which he also falls asleep. Helps the men get to the bed, then lies down between them. As soon as John and Yin try to hug her, the girl slips out of bed and undresses the men, resulting in them sleeping in the same bed. Passes the men's clothes to his assistant when he suddenly notices a necklace that has fallen to the ground. It surprises the girls because it belongs to a secret organization that performs dangerous missions, but it is unknown which of the two men owns this necklace. Back in the bedroom, checks the men's faces to see if they are wearing a mask hiding their true appearance. At some point, John falls out of bed and the girl lies down in his place. Yin wakes up and takes the girl by the hand, after which the couple goes to the hostage, posing as another person. They show a photo of the kidnapped woman and ask about her whereabouts. The captive is ready to give useful information, but only on condition that they rescue a woman named Xie. Sometime later, 3 ninjas attack a sick woman, but and Yin appear in time, saving her. The ninja escape through the window, and the girl and the general communicate with Xie to get new information. John wakes up and notices that has disappeared. On the way home, the pair are surrounded by ninjas and notice that they are shackled by a plant. This does not prevent the general from deftly fighting with opponents, because he is much stronger than all of them combined. After the fight, wants to chop the plant to free himself from the shackles, when John suddenly appears and helps the couple in a difficult situation. The trio returns to the hotel to treat Yin's wounds. The girl admires the general's beauty, but John tries to close the girl's eyes so that she does not look at him. After that, he tries to help get rid of the plant, but in the end it binds the whole trio. Trying to distract themselves from the problems, the trio plays a game with a spoon to figure out who can drink and eat. The girl drinks too much, which is why she tells John and Yin that she loves them both. Soon, a girl getting married is kidnapped. Meanwhile, John's assistant rushes to him to inform him of the whereabouts of the kidnapped girls. A lawbreaker immediately appears and attacks him, but the warrior manages to defeat and tear off the mask from the kidnapper to see his true face. At the same time, another lawbreaker attacks the assistant and puts a bottle of poison in his mouth, as a result of which the man loses his life. In the morning, the trio goes to the arrested woman and learns that the man they were looking for lost his life. The captive managed to untie her hands, so she flees, and the bound trio cannot catch her because of their slowness. Soon the trio is visited by Leo and his friend, who decide to take the plant over and let him shackle their hands. At the same time, the bad guy starts a brawl in a bar and meets with the man who took the life of John's assistant. it becomes clear that they are the ones behind the kidnapping of the girls in order to sell them into slavery to rich people. A masked woman meets her abusers and attacks to try to take their lives. Yin and his assistant spot one of the spies, but do not arrest him to lead them to the leader. Meanwhile, John and find themselves in a house where they are locked up and attacked with arrows. The couple tries to avoid injury, but falls into another cage-like trap. John can't act because he got injured. Realizing that there is a lot of water around, he takes her in his arms so that she can breathe. His leg is injured and he will not be able to swim, so the guy is ready to say goodbye to life as soon as the water level rises above his face. Soon, a ninja arrives at the scene and notices that the cage is open and empty, which means that the couple managed to get out. As it turned out, they were saved by Yin's assistant, who informs the general that John was ready to sacrifice his life to save the girl. A little later, Yin thanks John for the noble deed, because he did everything to help her. The girl hugs the men and asks them not to put themselves in danger, as they are both dear to her. The trio decides to eat, despite the fact that the two men can't stand each other. They feel envy and jealousy, but they take care of Yin is offended that the girl prefers to eat from the hands of John, who saved her life. Soon John and leave, leaving the general alone, which offends him even more. In the evening, the trio goes to a meeting with the mayor of the city, but at some point the girl pretends that she has lost consciousness. Is accused of being in the company of two men, but Yin claims that this is his wife, and they have no right to judge her. Playing along with the general's words, John declares that is his sister. The trio returns home, unaware that they continue to be followed, as no one believes their words. Noticing the silhouette of a man outside the window, and Yin pretend to be a happy couple, after which they go to bed to lie down next to each other. At night, the ninjas attack Huang to take his life, but Yin protects the rich man and saves his life. A grateful Huang invites the trio to his house for dinner, during which John notices half of the badge on one of the guards and realizes that it was this man who took the life of his assistant. After dinner, the rich man accompanies the guests and asks the guard to take the kidnapped girls out of the city as soon as possible. At night, the guards stop the carriage to check the chests, but the rich man's mercenaries take their lives. Soon another guard arrives, which is why Huang's assistant has to flee. John grabs the lawbreakers and takes his life the way they did to his assistant. Meanwhile, Yin frees the captive girls and takes one of them to his home. Sees the general in the arms of another and is jealous, realizing that she has feelings for him. Yin follows the girl and explains that the kidnapped victim is his cousin, and there is nothing between them, because he only loves her. Delighted with these words, the girl treats the general's wounds. During the conversation, admits that she was married and ran away from the groom on the wedding day. She asks if he is ready to accept her like this, to which Yin replies that he sincerely loves her. He would like to say that he is the groom from whom they ran away, when suddenly the girl loses consciousness. The general's cousin checks the ear and realizes that the girl is poisoned by the poison of passion. Realizing that the girl is in danger, John and Yin find a common language and become friends who decided to join forces to save her. Soon, wakes up and does not remember what happened to her. She tries to find men, but realizes that she is alone in the house. The leader of the group learns that the girls have been released, and the best mercenary has lost his life. While John is being attacked by the group, Yin goes to the old man to ask for a cure for the poison of passion. The old man is ready to give an antidote, but first the general must experience all the poisons and antidotes so that the doctor knows their side effects. Yin is ready to do anything to save her. The girl wants to find the missing general, and the assistant tells her that he is left for good, but she does not believe it. After going to the market, meets the doctor. A little later, John interrogates him, realizing that Yin is ill and there is no antidote. The only way to help is to find a 1,000-year-old heavenly flower that no one has ever seen. The general wakes up and the couple goes for a walk. The other girls make fun of her, but Yin considers her the most beautiful in the world and gives her a rose. Upon returning home, the ninja attacks and kidnaps her, and Yin finds only a rose lying on the ground. The poison begins to act more strongly, which makes the general feel sick. He is in terrible pain and bleeding, but he cannot leave his beloved girl in trouble. Yin rushes to the bandits and allows himself to be captured, after which he reveals his identity for the first time. Finds out that Yin is the general and the very groom she married and ran away without ever seeing his face. He wanted to tell it, but was afraid, because he wanted their feelings to be sincere and mutual. The lawbreaker puts a sword on and promises to execute her. Seeing that she is in danger, Yin tears the rope and attacks the lawbreakers. The general is injured, but John appears to help him. The two of them surround the lawbreaker, but he is very good at fencing and wounds both of them, after which he escapes to the roof. Dozens of ninjas appear, but assistant helps fight them. Defeating a large number of enemies, John and Yin pursue the spy to defeat him. Because of the poison, Yin falls and is unable to continue the fight. The spy sees this and wounds John in the shoulder with a sword. Realizing that his friend is in danger, Yin gathers the last of his strength and stabs the lawbreaker, after which he takes his life. Before losing consciousness, John gives away a box in which the doctor finds a heavenly plant that can be used for an antidote. As it turned out, John was in the forest and found the right grass, but he was poisoned by other plants and could lose life at any minute. Is going through a hard time, as both men will soon fall asleep forever and tearfully begs the doctor to help them. Yin and John are getting worse, and the doctor needs 2 days to prepare the medicine. Soon, he receives an antidote, and the girl gives the men a healing decoction. In the morning, they wake up in the same bed and fight because of their feelings for the girl. The doctor states that they have almost recovered, which is why the girl is happy and hugs both of them. The men are jealous of each other for but she is happy. Yin notices the general's logo and suspects that John is not so simple. He was probably a spy and ended up with them to get information and attack the city. In the evening, the trio and the doctor get drunk and fall asleep. At one point, John attacks the general, but he was not asleep. In his hands is a paper with an order to take his life. Is shocked, because she considered John a member of the family, and he turned out to be a traitor who dreams of taking Yin's life. John claims that he risked his life and is jealous of the girl, because she did not choose him. The men start fighting, but they are both well prepared. John escapes, but the girl chases him and tries to understand why he is doing so badly. John admits that he does not have feelings and only tried to make her fall in love with him in order to take advantage of her naivety. Upon learning that it was John who took her father's life, the girl takes revenge and plunges a sword into him. Falling down, the traitor remembers the happy moments spent next to the girl. The spies see what has happened and abandon the plan to attack the city. It soon turns out that John is alive and only faked a quarrel so that the spies would escape. Despite the past and betrayal, he remains a friend to Yin and because at the last moment he came to his senses and took their side. The general offers the girl to return home, but she is afraid that his family will not accept her because of her flight from the temple during the wedding. Yin hugs and comforts him, because his relatives are good people. After buying gifts and saying goodbye to the doctor, the couple returns to their hometown. The girl is afraid to the last that her husband's parents will mock her, so she hides behind Yin's back. The couple decides to remarry. The general's mother invites her to her place to talk and express her support. Soon, and Yin finally become husband and wife, realizing that they sincerely love each other. A year later, the couple has an heir, whom they call John.